And I've been chillin', watching the ocean with you. Baby, up with a slow motion crew. And we up in our cloudlands when people change, but not us. And we just chillin', kicking it, kissed by the sun. Could be so.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? This is Masaki from State 43, and today we're going to do a little recap of Sin's recent Reservoir League battle with HND. So we're actually kind of interesting and lucky to be in the same league as our somebody from our same server. So basically, it's just this recap of the battle that we had. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Basically starting off the fight, most of our guys are showing up. We have 25 of our members versus 18 of theirs. Obviously, get your recon jammers in, get your normal standard configuration, battle configuration out. It's pretty standard. Let's just check out real quick some of the bases that other people are having. So it's pretty cool. Let me figure out if I need to go increase a couple buffs, get a couple things activated, etc. Figure out how people are getting the specific skins that they actually have. So that's kind of interesting. But again, overall, Reservoir League, if you don't know, will basically be for teams that have a normal Reservoir Raid score of S tier and higher. Then they have a chance to battle in Reservoir League. In the first segment, it's basically just in elimination. Basically, you play everybody inside of your league sector, which is 4 different teams, and the top 2 teams advance to the next round. And then from that point forth, it becomes single elimination. So every round you lose, you're out forever for Reservoir League. Usually that's where it gets cutthroat. This part of it, usually Sim will usually make it out of this bracket tier pretty easily. The other thing is that recently a lot of things in Reservoir has changed. I probably, by the time this video drops, I probably haven't released the video on all the changes in Reservoir Raid just yet, but there's a couple water changes. There's some basically center changes as well, so that could help with your score one way or another. So something to think about. Anyways, we're hopping back in the map. We're just about to begin the fight, reading up on both sides. Actually, it's fairly balanced right now, so overall not too bad. Our current strategy for this round is we're going to have 2 teams, one situated in the top right corner, one situated in the bottom left. And we actually planned for the opposite map, but it's okay. It kind of works out okay. So we're basically going to go ahead and just secure our different sectors and then go from there and see how our enemies will map out their specific strategies. But right off the bat, we're already taking bases. So my job, or Team B's job, our Team 2, our job is to secure the bottom. So we're going to be securing the 2 buildings on the bottom left, as well as solar plant. So these are pretty key and crucial buildings to secure. Anything else that are available on the map, we go ahead and try to get securing on top as well. This is also the part where if you have speed ups, these are good to use the speed ups for the buildings that are further away. So, and you can feel free to, of course, secure anything else that's open on the map. Usually that's helpful for your allies there as well. And zooming over to the opponent side, let's check out what they're doing for their strategy. Overall, it looks like they are basically just doing like a thing where they're staying behind their base, which I guess makes sense because they think that they're probably going to lose to us out there. But the problem is, obviously, this just makes it kind of like boring for us. So anyway, so that's the strategy I guess they're sticking with. So this tells me they've pretty much given up on this RR fight overall. I think that's fine because obviously our score is much higher than them. Yeah, another thing about Reservoir League is that actually we can't use the latest generation of heroes. I think this is basically allows us to have more fair fights. So in general, Reservoir League is better for when we're in this bracket stage. So than normal Reservoir League, Reservoir Raid. Yeah, so anyways, if they're just sticking behind the barrier, it looks like we're probably going to capture everything. So I will probably just zoom ahead a little bit and we will talk about a couple of the more interesting elements of this fight. I will comment that it does look, however, is pretty boring if this is what they're going to be doing. So it looks like some team members might have already maybe gone back to sleep actually. But yeah, so I think right now we think we're going to lose helipad, but I actually think we may not lose helipad. Let's see. Let's see what happens here. So in general, it looks like helipad is actually going to be safe. So we're going to be bouncing and we should actually be okay. Okay, there we go. And we do not lose helipad. Oh, last minute reinforcement. We definitely don't lose helipad now. All right, it's good. Now, to be completely fair, I mean, the enemy isn't really anything to scoff at. Their top players are actually pretty strong as well. So they can definitely mount some pretty serious rallies. Actually, over here, I have one to show you. Basically, right after we defend helipad, we noticed that there are quite a few marches making it to the water treatment center too. As you can see, I'm checking our troops there. It does look like we have a pretty full stack and we do have reinforcements ready to go. But here's the neat part is that as long as we can defend probably the first one, we should be good to go for the second and third one as well. Obviously, people are coming in. I'm coming in for some reinforcements if necessary. I don't even think my troops are going to make it, to be honest, but we do repel the first, second, third. Is that 3 rallies we can repel? Yep, that's 3 rallies. Nice. Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, we definitely send back 3 rallies. That solo march probably won't be anything. Exactly. Yeah, he actually recalled it back, so it's totally cool. Anyways, so yeah, I mean, that was pretty epic as well to defend that for 3 rounds in a row. At this point, somebody on the H&D side does get pretty brave and jumps out. I noticed that he disappears from basically their side of the map. So I kind of noticed that probably this guy's jumping. So I'm checking the map and figuring out that he actually ported to center. So, well, what do? Obviously, port to center and start rallying. So let's go. Yeah. Basically, I think, yeah, I mean, I poured in immediately. Other people were porting in. And I don't even think he's going to stick around. He's probably just going to port before everybody hits. So let's see if I can. Oh, somebody got a hit on him. Nice. Oh, he's gone now. Anyways, at this point, H&D makes a second attempt on water treatment 2, and so in general, looks like overall not too bad. I actually thought this attack was going to fail, but I was completely wrong because the second attack actually totally knocks people out. So anyways, there's water now splattered all over the map. There's actually quite a bit of water simply because we've been on that water treatment plant too for too long. So anyways, we're knocked off. And this is also when I believe that H&D finally gets greater than 0 points. So congratulations to them on that, finally being able to capture a building, but also gather some water. So that's pretty good. All right, so at this point, we hit about the 50 or halfway point of this fight. At this point, H&D still hasn't decided to come out yet, but as we can see, we have a pretty good grasp of the entire map. Overall, we're everywhere. H&D side, though, they are still making very, very good attempts to hit, obviously, the water treatment and processing plants next to them. So they are making that effort so far. I'm still healing my troops just as we go. Yeah, pretty standard status checkup. Everybody's looking pretty swell. One of the concerns I'm starting to have at this point in the fight is whether or not we actually can make minimum points. Obviously, if they don't come out, we can't really fight. So my strategy is to send some troops out and hopefully I can bait an attack. And it does look like my bait has hooked some people, which is great because now I can get some points finally for them porting out of the map. The other thing is this is also when water drops. Now my job is supposed to be hitting water, but I think getting points is maybe more important right now. Yeah, but that's where it is. The other thing that's really interesting at this point is that H&D is starting to port out of their home base. Probably they're itching for some points as well. So this is a good opportunity for everyone to kind of get some fights out there to earn some points to make minimum. At this point, I actually decided that it's probably time for me to go and do my job, which is to gather water. So I port and I start looking for water spots. The good thing about water spots, especially around this time, is it's actually a pretty smart time to do this because it allows you to, get some points as well. So I noticed that actually there's some attempts made to burn one of our friends. So obviously link the location and then send some reinforcements. Should be good to help as well. But yeah, anyways, people are flying in. We're gathering water. At this point, I think I've already made my point minimum. So I'm probably good. Of course, I also forgot to set up my massive march. So 30 minutes in, get your massive march done so that you can get more troops deployed. And I think at this point with these hits, I will definitely make minimum if I haven't already. So by the way, minimum points is 180k. Once you go above 180k, you do max out on rewards. So you don't need to worry about anything else after that. So around this time, H&D actually decides to come out in full force, which is great. So we're going to be starting to get some battles out here in the field. More and more people are going to be porting in and basically looking at different battles. So it does get pretty dynamic, and obviously there are locations where they're even taking water gathering spots. So it's pretty easy, pretty straightforward for all the battles to come. Yeah, as you can see, less and less of them are staying at home. More and more of the H&D folks are porting out of their base to potentially look at, basically hitting some spots. I'm over here checking some attack stats to make sure whichever base I've hit, you just understand a little bit of power difference. Yeah, as you can see, this is getting pretty dynamic. Everyone's sending troops everywhere else. So yeah, this is definitely going. Burns are happening, but immediately we poured in, they poured out. So it's unfortunate, but yeah, I guess we don't get a fight today. All right, so going into the last quarter of the fight, it still looks like H&D is down by about, a lot of points. They're basically, obviously they're not here to win. They're probably just here to deprive us of points, it looks like. Though I will say, at least from the base perspective, there are a lot of lines coming in and out, so that's good. It seems like they're very active with the rallies, getting points on where they can, of course. So we will continue to reinforce and re-rally different locations. So of course, they've actually taken one building, so that's pretty good. But yeah, overall, obviously they're not really here to fight. It's not really going to end pretty well. I did notice though, there's one guy who's gathering kind of in the corner. So I'm going to see if I can try and get a hit on this guy. We shall see if it's successful. So at this point, everyone's so desperate for points that they're pretty much going to jump on any targets that we see on the map. So this is where it gets really tricky. Especially you have one or two dudes just out there sitting in the open. Yeah, you're pretty much going to get jumped on, unfortunately. So as you can see, this guy is sitting here. Of course, only Legend and Mata are next to him, but that's going to change very soon. And they're rallying. Of course, reinforcements can come in, but at this point, it really doesn't matter. I'm over here still trying to gather water. I don't actually know why. I think a strong sense of duty is probably why. I stayed where I stayed. I should have probably just poured it in like everyone else. As you can see in the next moments too, basically everyone and their like mother is porting into this location to try to burn everybody who's around. So yeah, that's what's gonna happen, unfortunately. Yeah, because everybody's so desperate for points at this point. Like, if somebody comes out of their home base, we're probably everyone's just gonna start attacking until the walls all break down. So yeah, this is kind of bound to happen. As we enter into the last phase of the fight, basically this is just kind of like the burn phase. Most players at this point in the fight will just burn all of their troops out to get the maximized points towards the end. Pretty much doesn't matter. Healing is not a thing anymore at this point, and especially given the point difference. Okay, to be fair, H&D never intended for this fight to win anyways, so it didn't really matter. At this point, we're just trying to make sure everybody who wants to make minimum points can make minimum points. So wherever there's opportunity to burn, we tell people there's places you can go, etc. So as you can see, anybody whose base is on fire, the next thing that's going to happen is everyone's just going to get right on top of that and start burning right away. So not much more to talk about. In general, pretty straightforward fights. H&D gave up. But in reality, I feel like they should have given it a good fight. Had they just kind of come out to fight us, maybe they would have lost on number of players, because it did look like even towards the end they only had 29 players, where we had a full 30 fairly early. But I still think they could have given us a run for our money, just because they had players everywhere. So I think they would have been a lot more fun of a fight if they tried a little bit more. But still, it's their personal choice. I really can't make any. I can't say much about that. But I think they could have done better. Just give a little bit more of an effort to fight this. Anyways, I'm gonna let this video play out. This is Masaki from State 43. You stay classy. I will see you in the next one. Bye.
With a slow motion crew, and we up in our growlings when people change, but not us. And we just chillin', kicking it, kissed by the sun. Could be soaked to the skin in the mall soon. I know she got the good vibes when seasons change, but we're the same. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single